Good morning to all. In today's class, I will explain exception handling. This is the last topic in third unit. Okay. So exception handling is very, very important for interview point of view and for exam point of view also. Okay. In Java, exception handling is very, very important. So to give introduction on exception handling, first you should know errors. Okay, so here in Java, there are two types of errors. They are compile time errors and runtime errors. So what is compile time error? Suppose if you write the wrong syntax, in place of int, if you write spelling mistake like IT, okay, then you will get syntax error. That is nothing but compiler will give you error. So syntax errors are called compile time errors. Next, what is the another type of error is runtime error. So runtime error is nothing but in Java it is called exception. In any object-oriented programming languages or in any object-oriented programming language, just like this Java, Python, and R, all these are object-oriented programming languages. Or C++ is also an object-oriented programming language. So in all these object-oriented programming languages, there are two types of errors. They are compile time errors and runtime errors. And runtime errors are called exceptions. So if you take OOP, that is object-oriented programming language, compulsory we should know about exceptions. So if you write the wrong syntax, then you will get compile time error, no? So what is this runtime error? Okay, so runtime error is nothing but it will see the semantics. Means meaning. Semantic is nothing but meaning. Meaning means if you write int a is equal to 10 by 0. So during the runtime, so for compiler with this statement, no problem. As per syntax, it is correct only. So take the best example, int a is equal to 10 by 0. So compiler will check only syntaxes, no? That's why as per the syntax or as per the syntax of this statement, that is int is a data type, a is a variable which is equal to 10 by 0. What is 10 by 0? So division, 10 by 0 means this by is called division operator, which is taking two operands. 10 is one operand and 0 is another operand. So this division is called binary operator, okay, which will take two operands. That's why 10 by 0 is perfectly correct as per syntax. Okay, there is no wrong in 10 by 0. That's why compiler cannot identify this semantic. It will see only syntax. Okay, so as per the syntax, int a is equal to 10 by 0 is correct. That's why compiler will not give you any error with this statement. That is int a is equal to 10 by 0. But so after compilation, it will not give you any error, no? Next, when you execute the program, so when JVM will execute this statement, no? So when this statement is executed by the JVM will throw an error. Why? Because JVM cannot calculate the value of 10 by 0. 10 by 0, nobody can calculate, no, it is infinity, no? That's why JVM cannot calculate the value of 10 by 0. That's why, so it is unable to find out the value of 10 by 0. That's why in this case, JVM will give you an error. So during the compilation time, 100% the syntax is correct. That's why compiler will not give you an error with this statement. But when you execute the program, okay, when the JVM, okay, tries to execute the statement, so 10 by 0 value cannot be calculated by JVM. That's why in this case, the JVM will give you an error. So that error is nothing but during the execution we are getting this error, no? That error is nothing but runtime error. Okay, so runtime error is nothing but exception. So here JVM will check the semantics. means meaning. Semantics one means meaning, whether it is correct or wrong. Okay. So here in this topic, exception handling means we are considering only runtime errors. So runtime errors are called exceptions in any object-oriented programming language. So here, when runtime error occurs, then how to handle that exception? So this concept is nothing but exception handling. Suppose if you get compile time errors, means syntactically it is wrong. Suppose if you write in place of int, if I write only it, means n is missing. So it a is equal to 10 by 5. Means it is not the correct keyword, no. We should write int, no. So this is called syntax error. Okay. So now in this case, the compiler will give you an error. Okay, compile time error. So in this case, what we will do is, we will go to this statement it a is equal to 10 by 2. Then what I will do? I will correct this it as int. Means I am correcting the syntax, because syntactically it is wrong, no it. So now I will take in place of it int. When I write int a is equal to 10 by 2, then in this case the compiler will not give you error. Like that, programmer will try to rectify the error if it is syntax error. Okay, so syntax errors can be rectified by the programmers only. So each and every language has one syntax. C language has its own syntax. Like that, Java language has its own syntax. Okay, the compiler will know. So if you take Java compiler or C compiler, the compiler will know the syntaxes of that language. So when it compiles the program line by line, so each and every line is compiled by the compiler, no? At that time, it will verify as per the syntaxes of that language. Okay, like that, compiler will compile the program as per the syntaxes of that language. Suppose if any syntax is wrong, then it will give you compile time error, and compile time errors are rectified by the programmers only. Next, coming to the runtime errors. Runtime errors are nothing but exceptions, no? So here JVM will throw the runtime errors, means exceptions. Okay, so here exceptions cannot be rectified by the programmer. Okay, in that case, we will try to handle that exception. So this concept is nothing but exception handling, which is nothing but programmer can handle the exception. How the programmer can handle the exception, in this topic we will study in depth. So what are exceptions and how do we handle the exceptions? Okay, these things we will see in this topic, exception handling. See here in the name itself, exception means runtime error and handling means how do we handle the exceptions. So here runtime errors are called exceptions. Now first we will see what is an exception and what are the different types of exceptions and what is the purpose of exception handling and what is the meaning of exception handling. This is the introduction part about exception handling. After that we will write the programs with exception handling. So the basics of exception handling are, we should know what is an exception and what are the types of exception and what is the purpose of exception handling and what is the meaning of exception handling. First I will explain these 4 points. Okay, what is the first one? What is an exception? What is an exception? An unwanted or an unexpected event that disrupts the normal flow of the program is called an exception. Again I am repeating, an unwanted or unexpected event that disrupts the normal flow of the program is called an exception. Okay, so which is disturbing the normal flow of the program. Okay, this is the definition of an exception. Next, what is the second point? What are the types of exceptions? So here we have only two types of exceptions. They are predefined exceptions and user-defined exceptions. So exception is nothing but a class. So in Java, everything is with respect to class only, no? Because it is an object-oriented programming language. So we will discuss only with classes and objects. Okay, that's why all exceptions are classes in Java. Each exception is a class in Java. So when you take class, we have two types of classes, no? Predefined classes and user-defined classes, no? Like that, exception is a class. Because of that reason, there are two types of exceptions. So predefined exceptions and user-defined exceptions. Coming to the predefined exceptions, so these are the some of the predefined exceptions. They are arithmetic exception, null pointer exception. Here exception we should write. So here arithmetic exception means this is a class name. Exception is nothing but a class, no? So you know what is the naming convention for class? Okay. Here arithmetic A capital. Here in exception E capital. It is a single word. Arithmetic exception is the predefined class name. So you know the naming conventions of our classes. So the first letter of the first word must be capital and the subsequent words first letter must also be capital. That's why this E must be capital with no space between these two words. So arithmetic exception is a predefined class. Next, similarly null pointer exception, single word with N capital, P capital, E capital. Next, class cast exception is a single word, C capital and E capital. So class cast exception. So array index out of bounds. This is out of bounds. Array index out of bounds exception. Like that, all these are predefined, some of the predefined classes. Okay, are some of the predefined exceptions. So arithmetic exception, null point exception, class cast exception, and array index out of bounds exception. Like that, we have so many predefined exceptions. At least you should know minimum 10 predefined exceptions, and you should be able to write programs on these at least 10 programs on these 10 predefined exceptions. Next, what is this user-defined exception? Means we can write our user-defined exception classes. Okay, predefined classes are developed by the Java developers, no, or some people, no. Okay, see these classes, we should know how to use them. Because all these are predefined classes, we need not worry about the code of these predefined classes. But we should know how to use these predefined classes. But like this, okay, like arithmetic exception, which is a predefined exception class, like that we can write our own user-defined classes. Not means user-defined exceptions. Like packages are of two types, no? Predefined packages, user-defined packages. Predefined packages, we should know how to use them. But whereas user-defined classes, we should write on our own. Like that, user-defined exceptions can be written by the programmers. Predefined exceptions means the programmer should know how to use these predefined exceptions. So these are the types of exceptions. Okay. Next, third point is, what is the purpose of exception handling? So here see, it is always a good programming practice to handle the exceptions. The main objective of exception handling is graceful termination of the program or to avoid the abnormal termination. So these 2 points are very, very important. Okay. So what is the purpose of handling the exceptions? Means to avoid the abnormal termination or to get the graceful termination. These two are very, very important. To avoid abnormal termination or to get the graceful termination. So this is the purpose of exception handling. After that, the fourth point is, what is the meaning of exception handling? So exception handling does not mean repairing the exception. We have to provide an alternative way to continue the rest of the program normally. Means here we are not 10 by, we have written 10 by 0, no? 10 by 0 means arithmetic exception. So the name of the exception for 10 by 0 is arithmetic exception. Okay. So 10 by 0 means, can you find the value for 10 by 0? No, nobody can calculate. That's why we are not repairing the exception. Means by handling the exception, we are not getting the value of 10 by 0. But what we are doing is, in exception handling, we are providing an alternative way to continue the rest of the program normally. So in this case, how to take the alternative way is, in place of 10 by 0, I will write 10 by 2. Means now no error, no? Like that I can handle the exception. So exception handling does not mean repairing the exception. You won't get the exact solution if you handle the exception also. But what is the meaning of exception handling is, we can continue the rest of the program normally. Means here already explained, no? To avoid the exception, to avoid the abnormal termination, we should use or we should handle the exception, no? So if you avoid the abnormal termination, it means that we can continue the rest of the program normally. Understand? So when you avoid the abnormal termination by handling the exception, what does it mean? It means that we are continuing the rest of the program normally. This is one point. And another point is, we are not finding the actual solution. Only we are providing an alternative way. That's it. So these 2 points are very, very important. What is the purpose of exception handling and what is the meaning of exception handling? So with these 4 points, you can understand the basics of exception handling. What is an exception? What are the types of exceptions? What is the purpose of exception handling and what is the meaning of exception handling? So this is the introduction part. After that, we will see. So in exception handling, we have 5 keywords. They are try, catch, finally, throw and throws. All are lowercase letters only. So with respect to exception handling, we use 5 keywords. You know keywords in Java, no? Okay. So like that here, we have in exception handling, we have 5 keywords. With these 5 keywords only, we will write the programs on exception handling. So what are the 5 keywords? Try, catch, finally, throw and throws. Okay. Now first we will see try, catch, finally. So to write the basic programs, these 3 are enough. Try, catch, finally. But next after completion of these 3 keywords, that is try, catch, finally, I will explain the programs on throw and throws. Okay. Now we will see in this class try, catch, finally. Already explained, finally is a block. Next in Java, try, catch and finally are blocks. You know block means open brace, closing brace. Inside the block we can write the code. Okay. Now here all these 3, try, catch and finally are blocks. So what is the try block means? This is the syntax of try block. Okay. Try is the name of the block followed by open brace, closing brace. So this syntax is called try block syntax. So inside the try block, what we will write is, we will write only risky code. Now remember like this, after that we will write programs on exception handling using try, catch, finally. Okay. Now here this is the syntax for try block. Inside the try block we will write risky code. Next, this is the syntax for catch block. So inside the catch block we will write the handling code, exception handling. So here in try block you will get exception. So inside the catch block we will write how to handle that exception which is raised in the try block. So inside the try block we will write the exception. Let us take already explained the statement int a is equal to 10 by 0. So that statement I will put in the try block. That is nothing but risky code. Int a is equal to 10. Okay, that is my try block. Means exception is raised in the try block. So when exception is raised in the try block, inside the catch block, we should write the handling code. Means how to handle that exception which is raised by the try block. So here we have to write the handling code for this exception, which is raised in the try block. Okay. Next. So that's why inside the catch block, we will write the handling code, and the catch block syntax is catch followed by you have to write the class name. So here it is taking only one parameter, and first this one is the name of the exception class, and this is the reference variable of that exception class. Suppose here you know predefined exceptions names, no? So arithmetic exception we can write, that is the predefined exception. So in place of class name I can write predefined exception names like arithmetic exception, null pointer exception, array index out of bounds exception, class cast exception. Like that I can write any one of the predefined exception class name. After that you can write any reference variable as you like. So if you write arithmetic exception here, the reference variable name I will take AE. Okay, this name is a user defined identifier. You can take as you like. So the catch block syntax is catch for catch. It is taking one parameter, that is exception class name and reference variable. Okay, inside the catch block we will write the handling code. Okay, to handle the exception. Always exceptions are raised in the try block, and inside the catch block we will write the code for handling that exception. Next, what is the last block? Finally. Try, catch, finally. These three are very, very important to write the basic programs. So inside the finally block, we will write cleanup code. Okay, finally is a keyword followed by open brace, closing brace. This is nothing but block, and the name of the block is finally. Okay, and inside that finally block, I am writing the cleanup code. So what is cleanup code? Already explained in finalize method in garbage collection. So inside the finalize method, we will write the cleanup code, no, like closing the database connectivities, closing the file connectivities, like that, no. So inside the finalize method in garbage collection, we will write the cleanup code like that. In the same way, inside the exception handling programs, okay, or in exception handling programs, inside the finally block, I will write the cleanup code. Cleanup code is nothing but closing the connections. Okay, I will explain why we should write cleanup code in finally block only. Why can't we write the cleanup code in the try and catch blocks? Meaning this purpose is there. I will explain later. Now try to remember. We are using only 3 blocks till now. Inside the try block, write the risky code. Inside the catch block, write the handling code. And inside the finally block, write the cleanup code. Okay, these are the 3 blocks. Next, first I will write one program without using exception handling. After that, I will write the same program with exception handling. Means by using try catch blocks enough. Finally block is optional. Not necessary to write finally block in each and every program in exception handling. Because inside finally block, what we are writing cleanup code, no. It is not necessary to close the connections always, no. If you open any connections inside your program, then you have to close those connections using finally block. So otherwise finally block is not necessary to write in each and every program. But try catch blocks, right. First to practice the programs with try catch blocks. After that we will write the programs with try catch and finally. Okay, we will start with try catch blocks. First, I will write a program without exception handling. Then we will see what is the drawback of this program and what will happen with this program. Then I will take the same program and I will use exception handling. That is, I will use try catch blocks. Okay. Then with these 2 programs, you can understand the purpose of exception handling. Already explained the purpose of exception handling. No? So what is the purpose of exception handling is to avoid abnormal termination. Okay. Now we will see without exception handling this program. So the name of the class, this is user defined class only. We are writing the program on exception handling by taking exception demo as the class name. So class exception demo 1. Okay. Next, inside that I have written main method. You know the syntax for main method. Next, inside the main method, I have written 5 system.out.println statements. Okay. Now in the first one, I am writing statement 1. It is printing this statement 1 as output. Next, statement 2. Next, in the third system.out.println statement, I am writing 10 by 0. You know 10 by 0 is runtime error, which is an exception. Next, followed by I have written 2 more statements for printing statement 3 and statement 4. This is my program. Okay. So here I have two statements, statement 1 and statement 2. After that I have error. After that I have written 2 statements, statement 3 and statement 4. Now we will see what is the output of this program. First, compile this program. Compilation and execution same as normal programs only. How do we save this file? Because main method is there in this class now. That is exception demo 1 now. That's why save this file with exception demo 1.java. Next, how do we compile? Java C exception demo 1.java. One dot class file is created. That is exception demo 1.class. Next, when you execute the program, you have to take only dot class file. That's why I will write Java exception demo 1. So after execution of this program, output is, you will get like this. So first, JVM will invoke the main method. No? So when it invokes the main method, what is the first statement which is displayed on the console as output? Statement 1, no problem. Next, statement 2, it is also correct, no problem. That's why in the output, first you will get statement 1, statement 2. Next, when JVM wants to execute this statement, it finds 10 by 0. 10 by 0 it cannot calculate. That's why what it will do is it will give you runtime error. So runtime error means here you will get this one. Statement 1, statement 2, and here you have to write this one. What is the 10 by 0? Third statement, no, 10 by 0. So at this time it will find error. So for that error, it will give you arithmetic exception : divide by 0. This is the error. It is the runtime error which is thrown by the JVM. So here first 2 statements are executed correctly only. That is statement 1, statement 2. That's why the output is statement 1, statement 2 followed by, here put this statement, that is arithmetic exception : divide by 0. Means that each and every error or runtime error has name, predefined name. That's why the name of this exception is arithmetic exception. That's why the JVM will give you here after these 2 statements arithmetic exception : divide by 0. So this is the output you will get. Statement 1, statement 2, then arithmetic exception : divide by 0 is the output for this program. But here if you observe, these 2 statements are not at all executed by JVM. Means from this statement, JVM will come out of the program, out of the main method. Means the remaining, without executing these 2 statements, JVM will come out of the main method. Because when it finds the error 10 by 0, immediately it will come out of the main method saying that run the arithmetic exception. That's why what is the problem with this program is these 2 statements are not executed by the JVM, even though these 2 statements are correct statements. So from this statement, it will come out of the main method now. That's why it is called abnormal termination. It is not like normal termination. Normal means graceful termination. Graceful termination means it has to execute these 2 statements also. No? But without executing these 2 statements, it is coming out of the main method. Means it is nothing but abnormal termination. So if you, this is the program without exception handling. No? Here I have not used any keywords like try, catch. I have written the program normally. Means without exception handling code, I am writing the program. So what will happen with this program is, here you will get abnormal termination occurs. Abnormal termination means without executing these 2 statements, directly it will come out of the program. That is nothing but abnormal termination. So now we will see the same, we will write the same program with exception handling code. Then we will see the output again. Now, so we write the same program with exception handling, that is using try catch blocks. So already explained, inside the try block, we should write the risky code. No? So here in this program, what is the risky code? Is it the risky code? Yes. So next put this statement in the try block and write the corresponding catch block. Okay. Now here this is the risky code. That's why I will put the risky code in the try block, and after that I will write the matching catch block. Okay. So now I will explain next program. So if you use exception handling, then it will give you graceful termination, means to avoid the abnormal termination. Means here we are avoiding the abnormal termination. We will see the program with exception handling. So here class name is exception demo 2, and the main method. Inside the main method, first two statements are correct only. No? That's why I have written the first two statements as it is, and risky code is there with the 10 by 0. That's why I will put the risky code in the try block. So only here I have taken 3 statements. So before this statement 10 by 0, I will take one more statement, and after 10 by 0 also I will take one more statement. We will see what happens. So this is the risky code which is there in the try block. Okay, next. After that we have to write the matching catch block. Remember matching. The word matching means I will explain. So you know this is arithmetic exception, no? That's why write the matching catch block. Matching catch block means, so this is the catch followed by it is taking one parameter which is the exception class name, no? So the matching means the exception class for this 10 by 0 is arithmetic exception. That's why I have written arithmetic exception class name, and A is the reference variable. This variable you can take A, B, any name you can take. But arithmetic exception is the name of the exception, corresponds to 10 by 0. That's why I want to write only matching exception. You know null pointer exception also we can write. But if you write null pointer exception here, it will not execute this catch block. Then again it is abnormal termination. That's why when you want to write the catch block, always try to write the matching catch block for the runtime error or for the exception. So for 10 by 0 we know arithmetic exception. That's why here I have written arithmetic exception. It is nothing but matching catch block for this try. Next, inside this one what I have written, inside catch block we can write anything. So system.out.println exception is handled, and so we are providing alternative solution, that is 10 by 0. Next, this is try block, this is catch block. After catch block also we can write the code. So here after try catch blocks I have written system.out.println statement 5. Shall we see the output now? So what is the output? I will explain here. Now execute this program with Java exception demo 2. So JVM invokes the main method first. Next, this is correct. So this is executed by JVM, and this is also executed by JVM. That's why the output is statement 1, statement 2. Next, after that it will enter into the try block. Here also no problem, no, statement 3. But here problem is there. So here what it will do is, from this statement directly it will go to the matching catch block. So from this statement it will come to this catch block. Means what will happen here? It is not executing this statement, that is system.out.println statement 4. Means whenever error occurs or whenever it finds an exception in the try block, so after that exception if you write any code, that code will not be executed by the JVM. This is one more important point to remember. Inside the try block, only the before exception, if you write any code, those will be executed. Means that code will be executed. But after exception, if you write any statements in the try block, that code will not be executed by JVM. This is one more important point. Okay. So now we will see the output. Statement 1, statement 2, statement 3. From this statement, it will come out of that try block, and it will find, if it finds the matching catch block, that catch block will be executed. So this is the matching catch block. Okay. So this will be executed. So again, the output is exception is handled, and 10 by 0 is 5. So after execution of this catch block, again it will come out of catch block and it will execute the remaining code. Okay, that's why here statement 5 is correct. So in this program, this statement is not executed, but all the remaining statements are executed. So this is nothing but graceful termination. Okay, so if you see the output, statement 1, statement 2, statement 3, exception is handled, and 5, and after catch block we have written one more statement, that is statement 5. So this is the output of this program. Here we have used exception handling code. It is nothing but writing try catch blocks. Always write the exception errors in the try block, and catch block means write the matching catch block. That's it. So if you observe the difference between the previous program and this program, here these, whenever it finds the exception, immediately it will come out of the from the main method without executing the rest of the program. But in this case, so whenever it finds the exception, from that exception, immediately it comes out of the try block, and it will execute the catch block, matching catch block, and immediately it will also execute the statements followed by this catch block. Means, so it is executing till the end of the main method. It is executing the code till the end of the main method. But there it is not executing. Immediately it will come whenever it finds the exception. Immediately there itself it will come out of the main method. So that is the difference between without exception handling and with exception handling. Without exception handling means abnormal termination occurs. With exception handling means graceful termination occurs. So with this you can understand the difference between these two programs. Means at least you can understand what is exception handling. Okay. Next I will explain some more programs on exception handlings. Now, so here we have different types of predefined exceptions now. They are arithmetic exception, null point exception, array index out of bounds exception, string index out of bounds exception, class cached exception. So now I will complete all these 5 exceptions. So for each exception I will write one program. Easy only once you understand the concept. So default, here we have 2 types of exception handlings: default exception handling and customized exception handling. Customized exception handling is nothing but if the programmer writes try catch blocks in the program, that is nothing but customized exception handling. Already explained now, without exception handling we have written one program now, that is nothing but default exception handling. Next class I will explain default exception handling. So in this class I will explain customized exception handling. So using try catch blocks and for all these 5 predefined exception classes. Okay. Now customized exception handling means the programmer is writing the try catch blocks, or the programmer is handling the exceptions. Now first program is arithmetic exception. So what is the syntax for writing any program on exception handling is class name. You can take any class name, main method. Inside the main method, right before try also we can write any number of statements. Next after that take try block. Next try block must be immediately followed by catch block. Between try and catch blocks, don't write anything. If you write anything in between try and catch blocks, you will get compile time error. Means syntax wise it is error. That's why first write a try block, immediately write the catch block. Okay, this is the syntax we should follow. After catch block also we can write any number of statements. So before try we can write any number of statements. After that write the try block, and inside the try block write the risky code, and immediately write the catch block, and inside the catch block we can write any number of statements, and after catch block also we can write any number of statements. So this is the syntax for customized exception handling. Now I am writing the program for handling arithmetic exception. So here test is the name of the class, main method, and before try I have written statement 1. Next inside the try I have written 3 statements. First one is statement 2, next 10 by 0, next statement 3. Okay. Next, what is the matching catch block? 10 by 0 means arithmetic exception. No, that's why we will take catch arithmetic exception AE, system.out.println arithmetic exception is handled, and 10 by 2. Then system.out.println statement 4. Now you can see the output. When you execute this program, the output will be statement 1, statement 2. Next, from this statement, okay, it will come to the matching catch block. This is the matching catch block. So what is the output? Statement 1, statement 2, followed by arithmetic exception is handled, then 5, then statement 4. So the output for this program is this. Next here you can observe if this statement is not executed by the JVM. This is the only one statement which is not executed by the JVM, because from this statement, okay, it will come from the try block, and it will verify the matching catch block. So from this statement it will come out of the try block, means it will execute the matching catch block. So after the executing the matching catch block, it will not go back to execute this statement. Okay, that's why after execution of this matching catch block, the code which is followed by the catch block will be executed. Means from the catch block, it will never go to the try block again. That's why, that is the reason why this code is not executed. That's why if you write any code after exception in the try block, that will not be executed by JVM. So here this is the only one statement which is not executed by JVM. So what is the output for this program? Statement 1, statement 2, and arithmetic exception is handled, 5, statement 4. That's it. Next, null pointer exception. So how do we write an exception handling program with null pointer exception? So you know null pointer exception is a predefined exception class. I will explain exception classes hierarchy later. First try to understand at least some exceptions. Okay. So null pointer exception means N capital, P capital, E capital, because it is the name of the class. Okay. Next, how do we write the null pointer exception is, we can take like this. String S1 is equal to null. String is a predefined class now. You have to create object for string class now. So how do we create object for string class is, string S1 is equal to new string of double quotes Ramu. That is the actual object creation. But here what I am doing is, string S1 is equal to null. Means S1 is a reference variable which holds null. Means it is not pointing to the string class object. Okay. Now without creating the string class object, what I am trying to do is, I am trying to access the methods of the string class. You know, string is a predefined class. Inside that length is a method, already explained. Length is a method of string class. Already explained. Length, one more length. Length is a variable. If you won't put this parenthesis, length is an instance variable which is available in array class, which will give you the length of the array. That length is different. That is a variable in array class, but this length is a method because parenthesis is there, no? So this length method is available in the predefined class string. So what I am trying to do is, without creating the string class object or without creating the object for string class, I am trying to access the methods of string class. Here we can use any method, not only length. Length method will give you the number of characters in that string. That is the purpose of length method in string class. It will give you the number of characters of that string. And here we can use caret or lowercase like that, lower upper we can use. So go to the API and see the methods of the string class. So here, without assigning the string class object to this reference variable, I am accessing that length method of string class with that reference variable. It is a runtime error. So the name of this error is called, each runtime error has one name. The name of this error is called null pointer exception. In the same way, first create student class. This also we can write. Create one class for student. Inside the main method of student class, we have to create objects for student class to access the members of the student class. No, that's why here I want to create an object for student class in the main method of the student class. But here what I am doing is student S1 means S1 holds null. No, already explained. The default value for any reference variable is null. That's why with this statement S1, okay, memory is allocated for S1 and null is stored. Next, after that, what we have to do actually, S1 is equal to new student. Means we have to create one object for student and the address of that object must be stored in S1. Okay. When you store the address of this object in S1, what is the advantage of this S1 is, with this S1 we can access the members of that object like roll number, marks, name. All these are stored inside the student class object. No, so the members of this object is accessed by this S1 when S1 points to that object. But here what I am doing is, I am not creating the student class object with new operator. Actually, we should write student S1 is equal to new student parenthesis. But I am not writing that right hand side part. Only I am taking left hand side part, which is means memory is allocated for S1 and null is stored. After that, what I am doing is, I am accessing the members of the class like roll number with this reference variable. That's why system.out.println S1.roll number. So is it error? Yes, because object is not created. Okay, that's why this with the S1 is holding null. Actually, S1 has to hold the address of the object. Then only it can access the members of this object like roll number, marks. But here I am not creating the student class object. Simply I created the reference variable S1 which holds null. So with this S1, I am trying to access the members of the student class, that is roll number. So this is error. So what is the name? This is runtime error. During compilation time, compiler will not give you any error because syntactically it is correct. Okay, that's why it is runtime error. And what is the name of this error is null pointer exception. So if you understand these two concepts, we can write two programs using null pointer exception. Writing the programs is very easy using try catch blocks only. No? So class test main method. So inside the try block I am writing. Already explained. No? So this is the risky code, and here exception is raised. Here no exception. Simply memory in the memory S1 memory is allocated for S1. Inside that null is stored. So no error here. But here the JVM finds the error because S1 is not pointed to an object. Here this is string. No, S1 is not pointed to the string class object. But with this S1 I am trying to access the method of string class. That's why it is error. How to overcome this error is, write string S1 is equal to new string of double quotes Ramu. In that case, S1 dot length if you use, for how many characters are there in the Ramu? 4, no? That's why the output is 4. But here without creating string class object, by assigning null to S1, I am trying to access the length method of the string class. So it is a string. It is a null pointer exception. Null pointer means this is null pointer, means it is not pointing to anything. No? That's why when JVM finds this statement, immediately it will come out of the try block and it will search for the matching catch block. Always JVM will execute the matching catch block only. Writing the catch block is not at all important. Writing the matching catch block is important. You remember this point, okay? Now you know this is null pointer exception. No? If you write arithmetic exception here, then it is again abnormal termination only. If you write the matching catch block, then only it is normal termination or graceful termination. So the matching catch block is null pointer exception. So here null pointer exception is handled. So can you say the output for this one? Okay. Here directly I have taken try block and catch block. Before try block I have not written any statements, and after try block also I have not written any statement. But even though it is graceful termination, why? Because JVM finds the matching catch block. So the output for this program is null pointer exception is handled. Because here before in the try block I have not written any system.out.println statement. No, only in this I have written, but here it finds error. Immediately from this statement it will come to the matching catch block. That's why the output for this program is null pointer exception is handled. This is the only output. One statement which is the output. In the same way, you create one class student and take one instance variable int roll number is equal to 5. Then inside the main method, write the try and catch blocks. So inside the try block, write the exception code or error code. That is the risky code. So inside the try block, so inside the main method of student class, actually we will create the object for students now to access the members of the student class. That's why actually we should write student S1 is equal to new student. But without writing this, without creating object for student class, only I am creating reference variable which holds null only in the memory. So with this S1, I am trying to access roll number, which is a member of this student class object. That's why this is error. So when it finds the error here in this statement, immediately it will come out of the try block and it will search for the matching catch block. So this is the matching catch block. That's why this catch block will be executed. So the output is null pointer exception is handled. So these two programs are on null pointer exception. So till now we have written exception handling programs using arithmetic exception and null pointer exception. Like that we will take one more exception class, which is a predefined exception class, that is array index out of bounds exception. See, all are capital letters. Each word starting letter, first letter must be capital letter. That is the naming convention. No? This is the naming convention followed by the Java developers. Like that, when you write your user-defined classes also, you should also follow the same naming convention. Actually, you won't get any error if you won't follow the naming conventions for classes, interfaces, packages. But it is a good programming practice because the Java developers followed this naming convention. No? So here if you see, array is first word, first letter must be capital letter. And the subsequent words, first letters must also be capital letter. See, index is one word, out is one word, off is one word, bounds, exception. Like that, put capital letters. So this is very, very easy. Already I explained arrays in depth. No? Now you can easily follow this program. So inside class test, take main method. So create one array. You know how do we declare and create array? Is it array declaration and creation? Yes. So int, this is an integer array, and means new int means one object is created in the memory. Inside that one array is stored with 4 elements, with 4 indexes. So index starts from 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay. So with this, okay, means the array index always starts from 0. No? That's why here 4 means array index starts from 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, size of the array is 4. Next, after that, what I am doing after creating the array in the memory, system.out.println a of 4. So array index is 0, 1, 2, 3 only, up to 3 only we have the array index values, but I am trying to access a of 4, or I am trying to access with negative integer, that is a of -1. Always, you know, array index starts from 0, 0 only. No? We should not take negative values now, but here I am taking negative value and I am taking the value which is out of the size, means 4. 0, 1, 2, 3. Only in place of 4, we can take either 0 or 1 or 2 or 3. But here I am taking 4. Next, so here it will find, JVM finds an error. So when it finds the error in the try block, immediately it will come out of the try block and it will search for the matching catch block. Is it the matching catch block? Yes. Because this is array, no? With respect to array, we are getting the error, no? So the name of the error is array index, or name of the exception is array index out of bounds exception AE. So this is the matching catch block for JVM. So it will execute the matching catch block. So the output for this program is array index out of bounds exception. In the same way, string index out of bounds exception. Same test main method, system.try. Before try block I have written, this will be executed definitely, no problem. So inside the try block, I am writing what is this one? String index out of bounds exception. In the previous one is array index out of bounds exception. Previous program is on array index out of bounds exception. Create one array and access the index values which are outside the range. 0 to 3 is the actual range, but I am accessing 4, 5, 6 means array index out of bounds, or if you use any negative value, that is also array index out of bounds exception. Next, we will see string index out of bounds exception. Means create one string. Already explained how do we create a string class object is string s1 is equal to new string of Ramu. So inside one string object is created, inside the Ramu is stored. Array like array index. Here also string index starts from 0. So here this string consists of 4 characters now, and the index is 0, 1, 2, 3. Means inside the 0th index R is stored, first index A, like that. Okay, now what I am trying to do is caret is a method which will get the character at that particular index. Okay, this is a method in the string class. So when you create an object for string class, definitely we can access the methods of string class. There are so many methods in string class. Here this is one of the length is already explained. No, length is a method in the string class, like that caret is a method. So what is the purpose of this caret is it will retrieve the character at that particular index. So caret is taking one parameter which is index value. So caret at 4 means, so s1 dot caret of 4 means, so here index value is 0, 1, 2, 3 only, no. So fourth index is not there. When it is not there, I am trying to access that fourth index, means it is an error. What JVM will do? If you take in place of 4, either 0 or 1 or 2 or 3 means it will give you the corresponding character as output. But I am taking out of range, that is 4. That's why it is an error, runtime error. So from this statement, the JVM will come out of the try block and it will execute the matching catch block, and this is the matching catch block for that is string index out of bounds exception. That's why this will be executed by JVM. That is exception is handled. So after catch block, we can write any number of statements. But between try and catch block, don't write even single statement. Don't write any statement between try and catch blocks. If you write, definitely you will get error. So what will be the output for this program? Statement 1, before try block, no problem. No? Statement 1, then what is the next one? Exception is handled, and the next one is statement 2. This will be the output for this program. Next last program is class cast exception. You know upcasting and downcasting, no? Already explained in inheritance, two very, very important concepts which are upcasting and downcasting. Upcasting is subclass object is assigned to superclass reference variable. That is upcasting. Downcasting is nothing but first you have to do upcasting and downcast with downcast that reference variable of upcasting. Okay. Now we will see what is this class cast exception. Same concept, test main method and try block before statement 1. And inside the try block, I have written risky code. Now, is it correct downcasting? No. Why? Because you know every class in Java extends object class, whether it is user-defined class or predefined class. Every class in Java extends object class. You know string is a predefined class which must extend object class. So, what is the relation between object and string is? This is the superclass and this is the subclass. Because every class in Java must extend object class. That's why string class extends object class means, so this is superclass, this is subclass. Now we will do upcasting and downcasting with respect to these two classes, and we will see this code. What is the actual upcasting? Subclass object is assigned to superclass reference variable. Actually, we should write object O1 is equal to new string. We have to write new string followed by parenthesis. Means string class object is assigned to object class reference variable. That is the actual upcasting. After that, we can do downcasting with this reference variable O1 with string class. But instead of writing the correct upcasting, what I am writing, this already explained with respect to dog and animal in upcasting and downcasting. So here what I am writing is object O1 is equal to new object. I am creating purely object for superclass. After that I am downcasting that this reference variable with string class. This is downcasting, means casting is done with the subclass. So is it the correct syntax of downcasting? No. When this is correct, this second line is correct only, but this first line is wrong. Why? Because when you want to take O1 here, this O1 object O1 is equal to new string, correct? Means subclass object is assigned to superclass reference variable. After that you can do downcasting with that reference variable only. But here upcasting is not done properly. Without doing the upcasting properly, I am trying to downcast that one. Means it is an error. So immediately, as per the JVM, this is correct only. Why? Because it is it is superclass object. We can create object for superclass, no doubt in that one, no error in that one. JVM will execute this one, one object class object is created, and this O1 is pointed to that one. This is correct only. But when it is executing this statement, here when it finds this O1, it will check this upcasting, whether upcasting is done properly or not. But upcasting is not done properly and I am using O1 here. That's why this is the wrong statement. In this statement only the JVM finds error. That's why this is runtime error. And from this statement, immediately it will come out of the try block and it will search for the matching catch block. So this is the class downcasting problem now. So problem is with the downcasting. That's why the name of that exception is class cast exception. Means casting is not done properly. So class cast exception. This you can take any name. Next inside that I have written class cast exception is handled. So this is the matching catch block which is executed by JVM. After that it will execute the rest of the program also, that is statement 2. So the output for this program is statement 1. Next class cast exception is handled and followed by statement 2. This is the output for this program. So these are the different types of predefined exception classes. So this is the output. Statement 1 exception, class cast exception is handled, and similarly you can write for dog, and you can write with the same program, that is class cast exception with dog class and animal class. Here also you will get the wrong downcasting. Here actual downcasting is what? Animal A1 is equal to new dog, means subclass object is assigned to superclass reference variable. You have to downcast that reference variable in downcasting. But here purely I am creating for animal class object, and that variable I am trying to use in downcasting. That's why this is wrong. This is correct only. This is wrong. This is wrong downcasting, means casting is not done properly. That's why the name of the exception is class cast exception. So this is one more program on class cast exception. With respect to the predefined classes, that is object and with object and string classes, we can write the program on class cast exception, or we can use the user defined classes. Class animal is user defined class and class dog is user defined class. Dog extends animal. Inside the subclass I have written the main method. Inside the main method I have written try catch blocks. Inside the try block I got an error. From that it will go to the matching catch block, and the matching catch block will be executed. So what will be the output for this program is, before try I have written one statement, that is statement 1, and what is the output? And exception is handled. So the output is statement 1 exception. So with this 5 predefined exception classes we have completed. Okay. Next class we will see the continuation for this exception handling.